This is One on One. There he is, Sam Talbot, chef, author, TV personality. I'll tell you what, season 2 of Bravo's Top Chef, you were a semi-finalist.
I was.
You were a fan favorite. In 2012, People magazine picked you as one of the sexiest men in America. I don't know how I didn't get on that list.
I think I might have snuck in on your spot. I don't know if you were available, and they're like, "Can you fill in for Steve?" I was like, "I got it."
No, that was the middle-aged man slot. That was
Okay.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. I'm really
the
good.
last time we saw each other was at the, it was a terrific event at NJ PAC. It was our friends at Barnabas Health and Newark Beth. You were being honored over there. It was great.
It was awesome.
And you're being honored in many ways, and your work is very much in connection with talking about nutrition and health. We should also let folks know that age 12, type 1 diabetes.
True. I was diagnosed when I was age 12 years old. It had run in my family, so my uncle had it. So some of the early symptoms, the juvenile onset symptoms that comes with type 1 diabetes, my mother had seen it in me instantly. You know, she had lived through it with her brother, so with the frequent urination and in the night and the constant dry mouth, she was like, oh. So we went to the hospital, age 12, right around 12, got diagnosed. I walked into the clinic, and you know, you hear these horror stories about kids walking in, or you know, grown adults walking into the clinic and their blood sugar is 700, 800. Right. Mine was 1,250. And a normal blood sugar, to put that into perspective, is 80 to 120, and mine was 1,250. So,
you know, fast forward. What's so fascinating about me is the night I met you at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, and you got up and spoke. In many ways, you were being honored for your work and your books, and you're motivating so many, particularly young people, and others, to live a healthy lifestyle, to eat healthier. This is a whole sustainable living movement, if you will, no matter what your situation is, diabetes situation, whatever.
Whatever.
Where did it come from, Sam, that you knew, with your situation and others, but with yours, that there was a way to eat, there was a way to cook, there was a way to live that is just not just a technique, but a way of life? Yeah, you know,
being raised in the Carolinas and, you know, having that sort of lifestyle and seeing the vast farmland and growing up by the ocean, you know, at a really young age, my grandmother used to take me, we would go, it wasn't a farmer's market per se, but it was a stand, you know, like a roadside stand where they had eggs, where they had local cheddar cheese or whatever, some milk, some quick, you know, some sausage. And those types of things, when you're 8 or 9 years old, they just resonate with you, and they resonate with you. I've never had those types of eggs. You know, the way that I scrambled my eggs with my grandmother when I was 8 years old are the same way that I do it today.
Same.
Soft and simple and slow and low heat. And I realized, and then I got, you know, fast forward 5 years later or whatever it was, and I got diagnosed with diabetes. And just like every other child, you know, I was playing football, I was playing soccer, I was doing all of the activities that made a kid normal, right? And but I would start to do these like experiments, and you know, we would go to a local pizza place, and I would eat after football practice. All the kids, we would eat pizza. Well, 2 hours after eating pizza, when you were doing 2-a-days in football practice and have to go back, I couldn't go back. I was just my blood sugar would be 350. Or on Thanksgiving, everybody eats mashed potatoes and cranberries. I would eat a bowl of mashed potatoes, my blood sugar would be 400. But then if I started to realize, well, I'm actually in control. So when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, I started playing with my food. Everybody tells you don't play with your food when you're growing up. That's all I was doing. I would make mashed potatoes, and I would make roasted broccoli. I would eat the mashed potatoes, and 2 hours later, I would feel like I ate a loaf of white bread, and I couldn't move. You know, I was worn down. I couldn't be athletic outside. Or 4 hours later, the next day, I would eat the roasted broccoli, and my blood sugar would be 100. And I'd be perfect, and I'd be energized, and I'd be doing everything I wanted to do. So I knew that there was a way to do this. I knew that there was a way to do it, you know, sustainably speaking. I knew there was a way to do it wholesomely. Now fast forward 10 or 15 years later, when after Top Chef, after my restaurants, some of my restaurants in New York when I moved here when I was 23 years old, and we fast forward out to the Hamptons when I opened up a restaurant in Montauk, and that restaurant in Montauk was what kind of put me on the map as a sustainably sound chef, right? Looking for the where the restaurant is, using the ingredients that are in that zone. So all the food from the restaurant came within a 4-mile radius, right? The fish was caught in the backyard. Right. The vegetables were one of 4 farms that was within a 3-minute ride.
Yeah.
And I think that, and that restaurant caught so much national attention. It was on the water. It was a beautiful setting. It was in Montauk, one of the hottest places on the planet right now.
But it doesn't have to be in Montauk. It doesn't have to be in one of the hottest places. Because one of the things you did, help me on this, Paula, you actually did something with our partners and friends at Barnabas where you went and cooked for the kids there. Spaghetti squash. And I'm sitting there going, as an Italian American, I'm thinking spaghetti with
Sunday gravy, yeah, of course.
Sauce. Where's the squash come in? And did that come from all the experimenting?
I grew up in the Carolinas. Carolinas is high sodium, high saturated fat, chicken fried this, chicken fried that.
So does the squash tie into the children's wellness thing?
Yeah, well, what happened is that, so we all grow up, in, like you just said, you're an Italian-American, Sunday gravy, that's your thing, you know, the meatballs and the pasta and the sauce and all that. And so what happens is that the kids, when the Let's Talk, you know, with our friends over at Barnabas, and we go in there and I have a group full of, you know, girls from 9 to ages 12, and I'm like, all right, today we're doing spaghetti squash with tomato sauce, and they're thinking the same thing, like, well, where's the spaghetti? And I'm like, no, here's the kicker. But you do it with them. You show you show the child that, hey, you can buy this at any grocery store that any of you have right here in Newark. You go, you buy this one spaghetti squash. You buy a little bit of tomatoes, a little bit of olive oil. You break it down right there in front of them and show them in a half an hour that they could have this meal. And you see this light bulb go off. You see this excitement, and then they're talking amongst each other and like, I'm going to the store tonight with my mom, and now I'm going to tell her to buy spaghetti squash. That to me is, you know, it's a way to redefine the food that we all know and love. We all love pasta with gravy. We all love fried chicken. We all love pizza. But there's a way to take, in today's day and age, with, you know, where we have all of these modern alternatives. You don't need to use white sugar. You don't need to use white flour. There's coconut sugar. There's natural honey. There's maple syrup. Alternatives.
Is that what the book is about?
The book is about.
What's the book?
The book is called The Sweet Life. Diabetes
Sweet
Without.
Life. There's right there.
Look at that. The book is called The Sweet Life.
This is PBS. We get it right.
Exactly. Diabetes Without Boundaries. I'm a person and a chef that happens to be living with diabetes. I'm also a foodie, right? So this book isn't geared just towards people with diabetes. It's for a guy like yourself that maybe you're trying to make some switches in your life, trying to get a little bit healthier, a family a little bit. I'm not saying that you're not a healthy guy, but you know what I mean? For anybody, anyone out there, no matter where you live, how you grew up, this book is based on wholesome, natural, real ingredients. You're not going to find white flour. You're not going to find white sugar. What you're going to find is, you know, like what we just said, spaghetti squash or coconut sugar or date sugar. Yeah, stuff that makes sense.
Sam Talbot, chef, author, TV personality, more than just on this 2012. By the way, 2012 sexiest man in People magazine.
I'm going to go for, now I'm going for 2015. Like, I need to be on that list.
Oh, get out of here. Come on. See, now you're more than a pretty face. You got to be more than that. That's what you were here.
Yeah.
Public broadcasting, that's nice, but we go beyond that.
That's right.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thank you for the time.
Right there. This is One-on-One here from the Tisch WNET studio with people like Sam Talbot. All good. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.